Listen to me, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk to y'all real quick. Hold on for a minute, wait a minute, hold on, wait. Shout out. What's going on, everybody? You know what I mean? It is what it is. Little bit of information going on now. Y'all know what we gotta do, 2025. You know what I'm saying? Here's what it is. Get ready. Bad News told everything he did. 100% accuracy. Officer T. Ward knows. He told everything. Wait a minute. Cheese in the chat, please. Cheese up in this chat, Gorgonzola. We need that cheese in the chat, please. Bad news. Saw Officer T. Ward hopped out of that hospital bed, ran down on Officer T. Ward. Shout out. And told Officer T. Ward, turn that body cam off, please. Try to pull a young thug. Hand me that binder. He took that binder and pointed out number 4 in the photo lineup. Wait a minute. He told everything. I'm sorry. People like to forget. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Battle rap is a haven for the snitches. I do want to put that out there. Also, Clone owes knowledge a foot. We do want to put that out there. Knowledge has not collected on that foot yet, please. Clone, I know you're trying to hide from social media. You shut down your Twitter. Knowledge wants his foot. Clone, if you don't know. Talk to them people. This is when he had dreadlocks. He was talking to them people out there, them cops. And he told them, I mean, everything about Ape Gang, everything about the three-way calls, everything about all that. But he said, what do I have to do to go home? What do I have to say to y'all to go home? It is what it is. I do want to put that out there. Battle rap's got some people accepting ghostwriter help. Can we get some ghosts in the chat, please? With some writing pens. We need some of that. I do feel like the female battle rap Rushmore needs to be changed. You know what I'm saying? Because we got that. We got, people accepting ghostwriters and all of that we found out this year. Also, we found out there are people that like rocks. Rocks in the chat, please, before we start. 40 bars choking in every battle. You know what I mean? Rocks in this chat, please. Can't spare nobody. Rocks in the chat. Wait a minute. They want to read on their phone. They want to play with the game of battle rap. Rocks in the chat. Clean paper. Running off in with, you know what I'm saying? Supposed to battle. Keep canceling battles. Rocks in the chat for him too. I don't care who his connect is. Put them rocks in the chat, please. He tried to put everything on Beasley. He did an interview with Angry Fan. I don't know if Angry Fan's going to upload that. He was asked about not showing up for the Suge battle. And Clean Paper said, well, I told somebody. Angry Fan was like, who'd you tell? Beasley. Beasley! He trying to put that on you, even though he tried to call out a couple days before the battle. Still, he gets rocks in the chat. Also, I do want to say that shout out to Tay-Rock and DNA. They ended up doing an interview with 15 Minutes of Fame, Ra, and Ra asked a question to them. And he was like, yo, 2-on-2s, you guys like consider like doing a 2-on-2 together. Y'all been hanging tough, doing all the WWE and all of that. And he was just like, yo, like, who would y'all want to battle? On a 2-on-2. Obviously, they calling out Lux and Mook and all of that. You know what I mean? But Rob presented a question. Is like, would they be willing to battle like K-Shine and Easy? What do y'all think about that? You know what I mean? That would actually be interesting. The only reason I think that would be like really interesting, first of all, Sean and DNA, they were tag team partners with the NWX. Easy, the Block Captain, and Rock, they did a tag team against who did they battle? I think it was Swamp and Geechee Gotti, right? So they battled them, so they did a tag team. So it's basically like them swapping tag team partners to see like who would win. So that would be kind of interesting, you know what I'm saying? But Easy did respond to that on his page and said no, he is not willing to do nothing like that. And I don't really blame him. The only reason I would say that is because you don't like, the thing I did not like about tag teams, right? Double impacts, is I felt like it ruined a lot of future matchups. You know, so I didn't like that. Some people liked it. I didn't like it. The only cool thing about it is when, you know what I'm saying, they was fighting on stage. It is what it is. That was the only cool thing about it. Doors was being held in the back. Pause. Doors was being held in the back of the venue. You know what I mean? All of that, the fighting that was going on, that was that was a good time in battle rap. A lot of people made a lot of money talking about all that. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, and then I think Shotgun Sugar, New Jersey Twerk, they had a pretty good 2-on-2. You know what I mean? But other than that, it was 2-on-2s is all right. I ain't really that crazy about it. And if I'm Easy, I'm looking for the big bags. I'm not trying to do nothing like that. It is a little kind of interesting though, right? Because Easy made a point when he went live. Before we get into all the Hitman, Holla, and all of that, he made a point before he went live. He was just like, yo, DNA, he's arguing with Eunice. Then he's trying to argue with me. Yeah, get the likes up. Thug Life. And he's trying to argue with me. Then next thing I know, like I challenge him and I say, okay, we could do the battle if we split things 50-50. Next thing I know, he's going back and forth with Hansel. Then like I'm doing my, you know, sports casting thing or whatever on my channel. I turn around, they talk about me again and get back in the algorithm. So that was interesting, you know, to hear his take on it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Easy Block Captain. Shout out to DNA, all of them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the 2-on-2s. I'm just not. You know, so hopefully DNA and Easy can figure out a way to make the battle happen, or Rock and Easy, because it looks like Rock is running out of battles. You know what I'm saying? So probably next year, I don't think he's going to have a choice but to battle Easy. Unless he battles my grandmama. I'm sorry. I think that's the only person Rock's got left to battle. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Rock, you know, one of the best, the GOATs of the game. I do want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Also, we had M3S3. Shout out to them. They ended up doing an interview with Chilla Jones. And Chilla Jones addressed Verb. He talked about a lot of different things. One thing Chilla Jones did do, he mentioned the let me pull this up. Let's pull up this card. Give him some talk about this card a little bit. He talked about the battle between Mook and Hitman a little bit. Like he talked about why I don't know, why he feels like Hitman is great, you know, the strengths and weaknesses of Mook and Hitman, all of that, you know. So it was interesting to hear his take, and I think he gave a pretty good take on it, you know what I mean? But he also says something along the lines of the stage that's going to be on, because he started out talking, he was like, oh, it's, you know, it could be like 600-some thousand people in the room, and M3S3 was like, hold up, what kind of stage is this? And then Chilla Jones said, this is a small stage. It's going to be kind of a pit style. Y'all didn't set Hitman up. Y'all didn't set him up. Wait a minute. This is a pit style stage? I don't know, gang. Like, shout out to Hitman. Hitman did a great job against him and in a small room. Him and Bill Collector. I do have Bill Collector winning that battle. Him and Geechee was kind of a pit style small stage. Hitman won that battle. They were saying on M3S3 that Geechee won. I had Hitman winning that battle. Hitman had a small stage performance against Miss Hustle. They were saying that Hustle won the battle on M3S3. I felt like Hitman won that battle. You know what I'm saying? You know, so him and look, Bill Collector, I think, because Bill Collector and Hitman was kind of a small room, right? Some people gave the battle to Hitman. I gave the battle to Bill Collector. But if this is a small stage, gang, and Mook is on the type of time that Mook is on, oh, Lord. Shout out to Let's Talk Battle Rap. They're gonna have a Spaces tomorrow, and they're gonna have, I guess, like 20 Murder Mook fans, and they're gonna have a Hitman fan and somebody like argue in Hitman's favor. So I'm interested to hear that, because if everybody knows this is a small stage, a pit style, this changes things. Like with Mook and Hitman, like I was kind of thinking like, yeah, Mook is probably gonna be super lyrical to show the difference between him and Hitman Holla. This is gonna be a big stage, and it's not gonna go over well for Mook. If it's a big stage and he's trying to be too intricate, people get restless, they're tired, they don't want to hear that, you know. And Hitman is very good with being dynamic, coming out blasting, you know what I mean? And you know, it just, you know, I thought, you know, Mook would have a more of a difficult time on a big stage. If this is a small stage, pit style, this, bro. I don't know. What y'all think? I think Mook might win this, man. I don't know. I might bet on that. I think it was, you know, big stage. It's like, oh, Hitman might have a chance with. I don't know about this, gang. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Also, shout out to New Jersey Twerk. Shout out to Jay Black. They did do an episode on Champion, and Twerk said he heard Mook's rounds. You know what I'm saying? I watched that episode a couple of times. Shout out to Jay Black for putting that out. This is old, but he did say that Mook is not playing with Hitman. You know what I'm saying? I was going to call Mook, you know what I mean, and see if Mook will answer. Mook hasn't rocked with your boy since I said New Jersey Twerk won that battle. Shout out to Mook. You know what I'm saying? Normally I call Mook. Mook starts spitting rounds. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll hit him up and see if he'll answer so I can hear it. But if it's what anything New Jersey Twerk says, you know, hopefully it will be very, very good. You know what I mean? So I do want to run down the card real quick before I get out of here. Shout out to everybody. Bad News Told, just didn't want to put that out there. So we got Av versus Rex. Shout out to them. As far as who may win, I like Av. I think Rex is a little bit more dynamic. I'm just gonna be real. I like the artist that's yelling and screaming and talking crazy. I love that. You know, Av is a little bit more reserved, but Av is pretty good. You know what I mean? I probably go with. I don't know what Rex is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Rex is gonna do. I'm gonna still go with Rex. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Av. I'm still going with Rex. Av could really win. You know what I mean? But I'm going with Rex on this. Rex 2-1. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Y'all think Rex can win this, or y'all think Av is gonna take it? I mean, Rex start talking crazy, slam his hat down. I don't know. Will Av talk about the angle of Rex passing out? You know what I mean? I feel like in a battle, if that's talked about, it's cool. Rex ain't had no problem with the video being put out. You know, in a battle, it's cool. Av is not really too heavy with angles. He mostly talks about movies and stuff like that in his rounds. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. But we'll see what he ends up doing with it. But I got Rex 2-1 going into the battle. Coffee Brown versus Official. Shout out to them. Official's been scaring me. She's been a little bit quiet on them Twitter streets, you know, so I don't know. I think Official's trying to show people who she is. Shout out to Coffee Brown. I think a lot of people back in the day kind of wasn't rocking with Coffee, and it's interesting to see her turn that around. And she's got so many supporters now, and people that just want to see her do well and see her on cars. And for the most part, I feel like Coffee Brown does show up and give her fans great performances. You know what I'm saying? So I think she kind of earned her spot in battle rap. I do want to put that out there. As far as Official's one of the GOATs to me. Official, one of the first females to really go up against men and go crazy in battles. Like her versus Disaster, she was wilding. I think it was that battle. She was wilding in that battle. Shout out to Official. I don't know. I think this is going to be a serious test for Official. That's what I think. And the reason why I'm saying that, I know the history of Official. I rock with Official. We love Official. But Coffee Brown's on different time right now. You know, and Official's got to remind her fans who she is. You know what I'm saying? So I rock with Official, will always rock with Official, love Official, you know what I'm saying? And I know she's very capable of winning this battle. But I feel like fans are going to be watching her to see what she's really going to do with Coffee. You know, because Coffee's more engaging with the fans, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But we'll end up seeing. But in terms of who's going to win that battle, no. I'm going to go with Official. I just love the way she punches. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. No diss to Coffee Brown. She could possibly win that. Good matchup on Bulletproof. We got Hollow the Don versus Swamp. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Who's going to win that? I will say Hollow hasn't been very dominant as a recent in his battles, you know, but then Swamp didn't do that well against Easy Block Captain in the last battle I've seen with him, you know, but before that I think he did like pretty good. In terms of this battle, it's going to come down to who wants to battle more, man. Like, I think Hollow is very capable of winning this battle. Hollow can probably low-key freestyle and get through this battle. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I would like Swamp to do very well. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I mean, I think that's a 2-1 either way. What do y'all think? Some people say they got Swamp. Some people say they got Coffee in here. Somebody says Swamp, let's get it. I do want to say Swamp, I am proud of his success in battle rap from where he came from. I was one of the first, actually the first blogger, you know, that had a lot of subscribers to start talking about him. When he did the battle with who was it? Your Honor, I think it was. I was like the first blogger to talk about him. And he's just been excelling. He had the battle with Twerk, he did well. He had the battle with Rock, he did well. You know, he's been excelling. He worked his way up to get to an easy battle. He didn't win that, but he still, you know, he's able to battle Hollow, so that's cool. And shout out to his management. You know, I do want to put that out there. Who is it? The Boss. I do feel like in 2024, she did a really good job managing her artists. I think she had 2 artists within the top 5, you know, and I think Cody, you know, so shout out to her. She did a really good job. And she keeps these people booked, you know, and to get Swamp, and she may be behind this, to get Swamp, Hollow to Die is very, very good. But it seems like a lot of people in the comments got Swamp 2-1 going into this battle. Swamp might win. He might win this battle against Hollow. You know, he might win, but he can get lazy. You know what I mean? But he might win. I'm gonna go with Swamp 2-1. As far as Arsenal versus Jazz the Rapper, I want to see this. And the reason why I want to say, shout out to Jazz the Rapper. You know, I rock with you. We had your back when they was trying to come at you. There was a hit job on Jazz the Rapper. Yo, y'all remember that? 2025 has been lit. I see y'all putting them ghosts in the chat. Rocks, Foots, Cheese, all of that. When they try to come at Jazz, it didn't really go well. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jazz the Rapper. We had your back with that. You going up against Arsenal. You know, the reason why I want to see this is because I want to see Jazz the Rapper up against what was it? Was it Arsenal's second round versus Murder Mook? Because one of Arsenal's round versus Mook was like kind of crazy. Was it the second? I think it was the second, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? He had a really good round against Mook. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I want to see her under pressure for somebody that's just talking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I don't think Arsenal's going to let up. I think he knows everybody's going to be watching this. As far as in-game battles, Arsenal's already battled Mook. He's battled Lux. He's battled Rock. He's battled people like that. And as the females, I feel like Jazz is the best female. You know what I'm saying? I'm always between her and Couture. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people say Miss Hustle. I think Couture beat Hustle. No diss to Miss Hustle, but, you know, I feel like Jazz and Couture is like one of the best. You know, as far as, you know, Arsenal, you know, I know he's going to take this battle serious. Hopefully he takes it serious. Somebody said, no, he choked in a second. It was one of it. It was his first. His first was good. I got to watch that battle again, him versus Mook. Maybe it was the first. It was real good. Hopefully I don't know. He gives us a very, very good performance. Jazz the Rapper, you know, she's always on 10. She don't really be choking in battle. Shout out to her. So we'll see what happens. As far as who's going to win that, Jazz is way more consistent. But Arsenal can get crazy when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We'll go 2-1 either way. You know, if he's not playing, 2-1 either way. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Calicoe versus Rum Nitty. And y'all remember, this is going to be a small stage. You know what I mean? Small stage, pit style. So this kind of changes a lot of different things. Calicoe versus Rum Nitty. I like Calicoe in a small room. I like how he battles in a small room. He battled, what was it, Ill Will? That was a great performance from Calicoe versus Ill Will. You know, so, you know, it could be more impact. Calicoe can go either way, like big stage or small room. You know, he could give you a great performance either way. So I don't know. Small room, Nitty. Now we can really hear what he's got to say. Nitty's going to be dangerous. He's going to be very, very dangerous. This is a good battle. Small room, this is going to be a good battle. This could really go 2-1 either way. You know, because it's like, if you're just going off of punches, yeah, Nitty's going to win. But that real talk by Calicoe does overcome and overpower punches a lot of times. Because y'all remember he was battling Rock, and Rock hit him with all kind of punches in the first round. You know what I'm saying? A D-E-S-K, he was wilding in the first. You know what I mean? Then he went into the breakfast scheme. I think I know that whole round by heart. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rock. What was it, the first round? Calicoe wasn't playing. Bet, Bruce Wayne, they flying through the cave. Like, the way he was talking, oh, man, he could do that. Any given time, he can do that. You know what I'm saying? But I did have Rock winning that battle. I think I had Rock getting the second and the third, if I'm not mistaken. But that first round kind of showed you the power of Calicoe. You know, but some people still debate that round. Some people give Calicoe the battle. But I had Calicoe winning that battle. Calicoe versus Hitman rematch. I had Calicoe winning that battle. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Calicoe be winning a lot of battles, but sometimes he might run into problems, but a lot of times he does all right. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Cal. Somebody said Cal is more believable. It depends on what you like. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can have like a super believable artist and they can get up in front of somebody that's just technically better, right? Like a Geechee Gotti going up against the A-Ward. Like, Geechee is one of the most, between Geechee and Calicoe, I think they like top believability in battle rap, really. You know what I'm saying? But then Geechee went up against A-Ward twice, and even though A-Ward doesn't have the believability factor of a street dude, but that's not what he portrays, right? He was technically able to win both battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won both battles against Geechee. So believability doesn't always win you the battle. You know, so even, you know, I mean, we can go through way more like scenarios, but it doesn't always win. So, you know, Nitty can get up there because you got to think Nitty's battle versus Ill Will is way more believable, right? But you remember, like, I think it was like Ill Will pulled out like the mic stand and was doing stand-up comedy with Rum Nitty, you know what I'm saying? Pause, whatever you want to say. But, you know, stand-up comedy with Rum Nitty and all of that. But, you know, you kind of remember it, but you remember coming down the nose running. You remember that. You know what I'm saying? Or Rock and Nitty, you know what I mean? Like, at the time, I think Rock may have had more believability, but, you know, I think as time goes on, Nitty probably has a little bit more believability. But you remember Nitty's bars after our Black Rock icon, our Jimi Hendrix, y'all, like, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, his rounds be crazy. So that don't always matter. Or even like Shotty Horror versus K-Shine, the more recent one. Believability, K-Shine versus Shotty Horror. Shotty Horror's got a little bit of believability. I'm not gonna lie, mate. He got a little believability. But Sean's got the street cred believability. But Shotty Horror went crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the Green Ranger line. Like, so believability doesn't always win you the battle. Or, you know, even Rum Nitty versus Ilmac, right? Rum Nitty had the tombstone line, like all of that. Like, Rum Nitty, way more believability than Ilmac, but Ilmac won the battle. So believability doesn't always win you the battle. Somebody said Cal is definitely way more believable. Bad News Told Everything. Shout out to you. For the comment, appreciate you. But, you know, it doesn't always win you the battle. You know, and John's won against a lot of people with believability as well. You know, and John actually won against Calicoe. You know, I think Calicoe let John win because Calicoe was winning behind the scenes. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, John won that battle, or John won against Rum Nitty. And some people would say Rum Nitty may have more believability than John. You know what I'm saying? But John won the battle against him and Rum Nitty. So it just, you know, you can go down this rabbit hole for like a while. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't really matter. But as far as who could probably win this battle in a small setting, Calicoe can get lazy. He can get lazy. You know, and that's like the worry about this battle, because I don't think this is one of the battles that Nitty wants. You know, like this is not something he's going to play around with. You know, so I think Nitty could probably win the battle. Calicoe, I want to see you push people. It is what it is. Bat, Bruce Wayne, they flying through the cave. Like, what? Why has he stopped doing that? Shout out to Paste, no diss to Paste. We, you know, forever miss Paste. But like, even that, he got real aggressive in that battle. You know, we missed that. Chilla Jones, Head Ice, bringing back that old authentic marketing feel with battle rap. We need a little bit of aggression here. You know what I mean? Battle rap ain't all that real. You know what I mean? So maybe y'all can, you know what I mean, act like y'all gonna fight or something. I'm joking. But you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Calicoe and Rum Nitty. And small room, I'm probably gonna go with Rum Nitty. You know what I'm saying? No diss to Calicoe. Calicoe could win. Probably gonna go with Rum Nitty. I think Rum Nitty's gonna try to punch his head off. But yeah, I don't know. Cal could probably win. Shout out to Calicoe. We'll see how much they paid him. If they paid him good, Calicoe 2-1. If they just gave him a little bit of money, you know what I mean, Nitty. You know, but Calicoe can get crazy. Shout out to Calicoe. 2-1 either way. I'm gonna say it on that one. Hitman Holla versus Murder Mook. Who y'all got up in this piece? Real quick, I do want to say shout out to both of these guys. One of the top marketers in battle rap. You know, right now, they've got the power. Hitman, Mook, you know what I'm saying? They are some of the top 5 highest, like, marketers in battle rap. Shout out to them. Hitman, one of the most viewed battlers in the game. You know, actually left battle rap, did something great, and came back, put money in people's pockets. You know what I'm saying? I do want to say that. Gave people looks, you know what I mean? And still engages in the game when he does not have to do that. You know, so shout out to Hitman Holla, and he still battles on a high level, going up against the best of the best. Still gave Miss Hustle a look. You know, he won that battle. He gave Geechee Gotti. Geechee Gotti don't really need a look. Geechee Gotti's already cemented in the game. Going down, having some of the craziest rounds in battle rap. Geechee, you know, but, you know, he comes back. He battles some of the best of the best. He battled easy, some of the best, and he don't run from smoke. So Hitman will always get the respect from the battle rap community, regardless of what you say. Murder Mook, you know, has been stepping outside, battling people who y'all like. Mook basically just let y'all pick. It's not really, you know how Cassie be like, I ain't got no picks, all that. Mook is kind of running like that. Y'all feel like Twerk is the best? Let me battle Twerk. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel like, you know what I mean, Hitman is the one y'all want to see me battle? Let's do it. Y'all feel like Geechee is the person y'all want me to battle? All right. You know what I mean? If a league owner wants to pay me to battle Big K, all right, I do it. You know what I'm saying? He not being super crazy selective. And you got to think this is the Michael Jordan of battle rap. He can be as selective as he wants. You know what I mean? And he's not doing that. You know, so shout out to Murder Mook for taking on this competition. I will say this, right? This is going to be a small stage, almost like a pit style. Chilla Jones, shout out to you for, you know, facilitating, I guess, helping TBL brand and all of that, put this on. As far as the stage, if this is a small stage, how many people are allowed on the stage? The only reason why I'm saying that, when Hitman battles, I've been on the stage when Hitman battles, right? He was battling Cassidy. Hitman brought the whole Wildin' Out crew. Shout out to Hitman. It was a bunch of his security and people he know. You know what I mean? Hitman's popular. But that's, like, they had to almost clear the stage for his people to come up there. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, you going up, Mook, you going up against that. You know, so it's like, is it going to be fair to where they're going to have Because I think Cassidy was only up there with it was just Cassidy and his security. It wasn't nobody else. You know what I'm saying? That I could think of when I was on stage, because Cassidy was just with his security. The security was like, yo, I'm just with him. But other than that, like, Hitman had mad people. Cassidy was up there comfortable. Shout out to Cassidy. As far as, I don't know, Matt, because the problem is, like somebody just said it in the comments, if you have somebody that has a lot of people on stage, they could gas this person. You know what I mean? I'm just saying what it is. This is me being, I would say this with anybody else. You know, so is it going to be fair? You know, with how many people are on stage? Now, if it's a small stage, would it be better just to have just them on stage? You know what I'm saying? You know, talking crazy. Maybe have a few people with a back ambiance. You know what I mean? Street feel, all of that. But if it's going to be a small stage pit style, I don't know, because he said small stage and pit style at the same time. So I don't know how that's gonna maneuver. You know what I mean? How that's gonna work. But you know, if it's a pit style, we've seen Hitman show up to battles, him versus Ill Will. He ain't had a whole lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But on a small stage like that, Mook can rap. Oh man, y'all see how Mook was in that Arsenal battle, yeah? Sober Mook, 1 in the chat for Mook, 2 in the chat for Hitman. I say Hitman again holds his own in a small room. Every time people think that Hitman can't rap in a small room, he proves people wrong. People thought he was going to get destroyed by Miss Hustle. He won that battle. People thought he was going to get destroyed by Geechee. He won that battle. People thought he was going to get destroyed by Ill Will. The battle was debatable. You know what I'm saying? In them small settings, you know, so Hitman could get, you know what I mean? He can go crazy in a big stage or a small stage. And hopefully, so it's, you know, a lot of people think Hitman is going to win this battle. In my comment section right now, most people think Hitman's going to win this battle. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. I small stage, I got Mook. I got Mook with the 30 piece. You know what I'm saying? Like on a small stage. If this is a big stage, maybe Hitman, you know what I mean, could maybe 2-1 on a big stage. Medium-sized stage, because Chilla, you did say medium, small stage. So is it a medium, small stage? He did kind of emphasize pit style with when he said medium, small stage, pit style. That could, it changes things, man. But, you know, Hitman's been very quiet, and I think he knows what he has to do. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Hitman Holla. Shout out to Murder Mook. Small stage. Should I make y'all mad right now? I'ma probably go. I want to say Hitman, but like I'm betting on this battle. I gotta go with Mook, man. I'm gonna go Mook 2-1, if not 3-0. Yeah, Hitman can get around small stage. I'm betting on this battle, so it's gonna be Mook 2-1, if not 3-0. Hitman can win. I just think the advantage is in Mook's hands right now. It's in Mook's hands, and anybody I've heard that heard his rounds, they're kind of going crazy. You know what I mean, about Mook's material. And I don't want to like really hit him or anybody and hear it, because I like to be surprised like everybody else. Sometimes it's kind of whack when people, you know, let you hear their rounds, you know, and then they don't sound like they do on stage and all of that. So it's hard to really gauge, you know, what's going on. You know what I mean? But and I do want to, you know, I'm paying for this, so I want to be surprised. You know what I mean? But shout out to both of them. And this is no diss to Hitman. Hitman is one of the greatest, man. It's just like you going up against Michael Jordan, man. And just people are going to pick Jordan. That's what it is. Like certain matchups, like this is Jordan, bruh, of the game. You know what I mean? Like this is you going up against the logo. And we just saw his recent work that was crazy. Hitman won his last couple battles. I think it was his last couple, right? But Mook went crazy. And he's sober. Mook is like one of the greatest, man. Hitman, view-wise, one of the greatest. You know what I mean? And I've, you know, like, and one thing, I watched Mook and Hitman battle a lot in person. right? The one thing that was carrying Hitman for me when I would, I think I seen, who was it? Him versus Shine. I've seen a lot of Hitman battles, and I've seen him versus Casino, a lot of Hitman battles. Hitman literally, like when Hitman's haymakers hit, the building shakes, right? It's not like this, the stage is rumbling a little. Like when you be seeing the camera, that's real. The building doing that. Like that's the crazy part. You know what I'm saying? Only a few people can do that. Hitman is one of them that can do that. You know, so that was like, that's a big, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like thing to have in your favor. But like when I seen Mook versus Geechee in person, I don't go to battles, you know, but I seen Mook and Geechee in person. Mook did the same thing at Irving Plaza, same building. You know, when he was, welcome to the party, you know what I mean? Like the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So Mook is figuring this game out. I just hope, it's gonna sound crazy, I hope Mook don't get up there and give us some paw bear, and I hope Hitman don't get up there and mess up Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? So if they cannot mess up these games, you know what I mean? Like that would be cool. You know what I mean? But as far as I'm concerned, it's some of the best battles out. I actually wanted to see Hitman versus Lux, but this ended up happening. You know, and you know, like if Hitman went, the reason why I want Hitman to do good, if they can have a good debatable battle, we can go back and we can watch it at the end of time. You know what I mean? And if they are both on 100, we can potentially get like a class. It could potentially be a classic. You know, it's something we can rewind and watch. And then Lux is probably going to feel some type of way and want to battle Hitman. You know, and then that's going to be a big battle to Hitman, a big payday that somebody can put together, because it's like Lux is not afraid to go to any other league and get money. He's not going to let URL tell him no. You know what I mean? He's not like all these other battlers that will do that. You know, so shout out to, so I think the Hitman and Lux battle can happen if the battle's close. Now, if I'm watching the face-off, Mook handled that face-off. Like Mook was up on that face-off. Mook won the face-off. But you can win the face-off and lose a battle. Like, we all have to be clear about it. You could win the face. How many times have we seen it? Do we got to run down the list of times? People have won the face-offs, but lost the battle. Even Cassidy, and shout out to Cassidy. Cassidy, don't message me no craziness. Getting mad. Shout out to you. Cassidy battled Goods, debatable battle to some. He lost to Goods, won the face-off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of battles like that. You know, to where that it's just a, you know, I don't know. I just hope they have a good one. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Hitman, Holla, just do the best that you can. Everybody's gonna be watching. You know this. This is the logo. You gonna have like, man, and Hitman, I know you know this, right? You on Wildin' Out, like you know, you directly engage with a lot of these like celebrities, so you know they be watching this. But like me as a blogger, celebrities be hitting me, telling me what they be watching. You know what I'm saying? So like I know everybody's gonna be watching this. You got Mook on here, you know what I mean? So do your best. You know, neither one of y'all choke. You know what I mean? I know Mook don't really be choking. Hitman rarely chokes. You know, I think the last time I seen Hitman choke, when the last time Hitman choked? Him versus Leave Without Your Hands. Like that was like other than that, he don't really be choking. Hitman gets up there and he gives you his money's worth. And a lot of people that book him for pay-per-views, they're always satisfied with the return. Shout out to Tony Kelman with the $5 donation. He said Hitman was nowhere to be found during COVID year. Big stages return in 2021, and Hitman has not one but 2 battles. Hitman doesn't want small room smoke. Well, I mean, Hitman has already proved multiple times he can get in a small room and go crazy. Right? I've seen him do that. You know, him versus Bill Collector. He went crazy. It was debatable. Some people got him winning that battle. I got Bill Collector. A lot of people got Hitman winning that battle. Hitman versus Ill Will. That's small. You know what I'm saying? I thought Hitman won that battle. Some people got Ill Will winning the battle. I thought Hitman won that battle. You know what I'm saying? Hitman versus what was it? Hustle. I got Hitman winning that battle. I think most bloggers had Hitman winning that battle. Hitman versus Geechee. That's a small room. Hitman won that battle. Some people got Geechee winning the battle. A lot of people got Hitman winning that battle. So I don't think that's the case. I think, but to be real, if it's a lot of small stages, like, you know, back then around COVID, like people was taking pennies to battle. So man, Holla, he know he could just wait it out and just wait for the bag to come. Like he don't have to. He was never in a situation where he needed the money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of other battlers, so he could just sit out, and it's better to just sit out. Like why would you be battling on a COVID camera? You know what I'm saying? Well, you could just sit it out and wait and get big bags. It don't make no sense. But yeah, he's definitely capable of you know, rocking out in a small room. Rush to Reloaded said with the $5 donation, said Hitman does his best when his back is against the wall. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like exactly. He could potentially win this battle. You know, so it's now if Mook is, and Chilla Jones did say something. Shout out to Chilla Jones. He said if Mook gets super intricate. Did I say intricate? I don't know. 41 I probably did. If he gets super intricate, it could backfire. You know, like Mook was on stage with Verb getting super intricate. People didn't like it. A lot of us had Verb winning the battle. Yeah, Mook had like a 20-minute round versus Verb. We still had Verb winning the battle. Like it could backfire on you. You know what I mean? Like you don't always have to be super lyrical miracle. You know, or it could be your day that day. It might work. Like him versus Arsenal. Arsenal had a great round too. But like that Mook just shined that day. You know what I mean? So it could work. You know what I mean? So it just depends on his approach. But Mook is like he's one of the GOATs, bro. Like this is the Jordan. Like he been paying attention. Like when I used to have conversations with Mook pays attention to everything. And he knows, I think he knows, and he showed you with the Geechee battle what he can do. He's paying attention. He's taking the criticisms in, you know, and he's doing what he got to do. Hitman Holla, on the other hand, has stood in front of a lot of competition, bro. You know, this is what makes this battle, like, so interesting to me. But yeah, like, grudge matches, I think Hitman Holla suffers with grudge matches. Everybody knows that, right? He doesn't do the best when it's an actual grudge match, unless him versus Arsenal. Him versus Arsenal, I thought was great. I thought he handled that really great. You know what I mean? What is that? What did he say? He said, "Do not move. I come around, do not fire." Shout out to Hitman. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, but a lot of times grudge match, him versus Calicoe. You see how like Calicoe won that twice. First time was bad. You know, Calicoe won. You know, and him versus Surf was low key. I thought it was a grudge match. Remember when Surf like kind of grabbed him? You know, was trying to grab at him or whatever. And a long time ago, you gotta look it up on YouTube. I thought that was kind of a grudge match. I thought it was a great battle. You know what I mean? The first couple rounds was a good battle, but you know, I got Surf winning that battle. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it depends. This is all opinionated. You know, even though I might have him winning or losing battles, y'all can have it different. You know, but this is kind of building up to be a grudge match. The way they've been talking, and I think there's angles now that are now introduced into this battle that's going to make it a little bit more interesting. And I'm saying that to say this because you got Mook. Yeah, he's got his apartment was shown or whatever. He did address some of that, like in the Arsenal battle, right? Hitman could talk about that, you know, or you know, Mook's road to recovery, right? Hitman can talk about that, which I'm glad that Mook is in the spaces he's in, but he could still talk about that, you know, and Hitman can talk about, yo, I left the game and I've done something that you have not yet to do, you know, which become like super successful out of battle rap. But then Mook can counter that, like, because Mook had the, what was the Eminem thing? Like the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like all the Total Slaughter thing and all of that. You know, so Mook has done things outside of battle rap as well, you know what I mean, and help people inside of battle rap get paid as well, if he wants to talk that route. But I think Hitman would be able to better convey that, you know what I mean, because it's more like recent. You can see Bags and Bodies, him doing the online thing that, you know what I'm saying, like where everybody had to get the subscriptions for or something like that. Him doing that, the house thing, putting money in people's pockets, trying to keep battle rap lit. You know, and engaging with the fans and building artists up. Like Hitman's done a lot of that. You know what I mean? Somebody could say Murder Mook with Rough Riders, but he didn't have a hit record that came out of that. You know, and Mook knows a lot of people. He hangs around a lot of people. Busta Rhymes, Dame Dash, and all of that, but he never had a hit record come out of it. You know, so, but as far as who they are in the game, even though Hitman is very popular, every time I talk to somebody in that knows anything about battle rap, like the old nostalgia fans, more people know Mook than Hitman. It's just what it is. Like, Mook was one of the first people that we looked at, besides Cassidy and all that. He was the first person we looked at and followed his journey. Remember, he was calling Cassidy out and all of that. Then we see him battling outside in the streets. That was crazy back then. It was a completely different era. You know what I'm saying? People actually had the blinkies on them. Now you go in these venues, security patting you down, safe. Mook was out there in the trenches while it was crazy. You know, and you know, Hitman's battling some crazy situations too. You know, so we can give him that, you know, but then you got the flip side of it. Mook's got a lot of things he could talk about with Hitman. Like the whole, and I don't want to mention it, you know what I'm saying, but the whole cinnamon situation, which everybody mentions, like he could talk about that, you know, and what happened with that. You know, he could talk about the recent incidents with Verb and how a lot of Hitman's time was taken up going back and forth with Verb. Like all of that, you know, the breakup of the friendship. Like he can go into a lot of different things like Mook. And the problem with Mook, the problem that you would have going up against Mook can take a couple of angles and stretch it out through like the whole round. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 rounds and go crazy. Like him versus Rock, I feel like in battle rap is one of the biggest like masterpieces in terms of a 3-round structure against a battler. Because the way he was talking to Rock was insane. I've never seen that before. Like Rock get talked to like that. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Rock in some wars, you know what I'm saying, with clips and stuff like that. But the way he broke Rock down was insane and ended it with this is a Statue of Liberty. Rock, like, yo, this is New York. This is how we do. You know what I mean? Like, it was insane. It was amazing. You know? And he made you look at him completely different. That was when, and I will never forget that battle, and maybe personal reasons too. Soon as Mook got done with the battle, he called me. Shout out to Mook. As soon as he was done with the Rock battle, he called me. And I was just like, yo, I've never seen nothing like that. And he was like, I told you. And before the battle, Mook was telling me, he was just like, yo, like, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you about to see, I'm the GOAT, like, for real. And he's got the ultimate confidence going into any battle. And this was a time where Rock was, like, up here. You know what I'm saying? And Mook had the ultimate confidence. And I'm like, yo, bro, you know what I mean? I don't know, bro. Like, Rock is crazy. You know, and that would be, like, what we were talking about. Like, yo, Rock is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And what I would blog about, even though we was cool, like, yo, Rock, I don't know. He ain't never stood in front of nothing like Rock, right? And then he get up there and he does the impossible, 30 them. You know what I mean? Clearly. So, you know, he could do that to his opponent. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. And, you know, are any one of these battlers, are they really missing anything? Like, can they lose anything? And I would say, not really, right? Because Hitman is still going to be a headliner. He's not going to co-headline any event, you know what I mean, anymore, right? He's not going to do that. Murder Mook is always going to be the headliner. You know what I mean? So they, you know what I mean? Like, chances are they're never going to be on the same card after this because egos get involved. Who's going to headline? You know what I mean? Unless the card is just so crazy and the money is so crazy, I have no choice to do it. You know, but if it's a headlining event, more than likely it's going to be Mook. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the headliner. And now they're both on the same card. You know what I'm saying? Headlining the event. So this is very, very interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like watching this whole thing. And then we about to see who is the best. You know what I mean? Forget all the talk, all the interview. Remember Mook did all them interviews talking about Hitman, sitting in the chair, talking crazy about Hitman. And Hitman was talking about Mook and all that. We are about to see this weekend who is the best. You know what I mean? And forget what anybody got to say, all the interviews, all that's out the window. You know what I mean? This right now, we about to see everything. Who's going to win? You know, and they will forever go down in history of I beat you. You know what I'm saying? If Mook wins this battle, he will forever in his interviews. Y'all thought Hitman was going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or if Hitman, he's in spaces talking or he does an interview, y'all thought Mook was going to win. I took Mook out. Hitman talks heavy. So they're both, you know what I'm saying, are in a situation where they feel like they have to win, I would presume. You know what I mean? But to the fans, I don't think either one of them really lose anything. You know what I mean? Just, one, some fans can say one over the other. That's it. You know what I mean? They're both going to be titans in the game. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I will be watching it, not bootlegging it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. If y'all raise the prices to $100, your boy might have to. Might have to call Achilles. But as far as this, I will be supporting it. You know what I mean? I do like what TBL is doing. Shout out to them. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But y'all, tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me